Infinite ammo.
Hey, we're on there. We're talking about X videos. Welcome, people.
What?
We're on air.
No, he just.
Hey, what's good?
Did you just call him in, or he's calling in?
I'm trying to ring him, see if he'll come in.
All right. Well, we might as well get started. So we're talking about the Google Stadia, which is offering. You can say it's trash. They're offering like the impossible. But we'll get into it right in a minute. I just want people to introduce themselves. So first and foremost, we have Sasuke.
Hey, just me, Slayer 007, what's good?
Also, Sasuke, type in the chat and say we started the recording. Next, we have Cryo.
Hey guys, it's Cryo.
Next up, we have Drillbit.
Yo, what's up, guys? Oh, this should be a good discussion.
Now we have a giant hamster who was citing the N-word earlier. Can you introduce yourself, sir?
Hello, yes. It is I, Blackrock Shadow.
Emphasis
Hamster
on
man.
black. Emphasis.
Is Blackrock Shadow actually black, though?
I don't think so. I'm going to introduce myself really quickly. I am Renegade Operative, the host of the show, and we have two guests. One is grabbing something really quickly from Pornhub, and the other is taking driver's ed lessons. So when they come in, we will introduce them. But the first question we have, let me get this document because I'm disorganized as fuck right now, and I don't have it.
I'll post it in the chat.
Yes, please do that so I can read this. All right, let me see here. The first question is, Google Stadia will launch with a Wi-Fi only connected controller. Thoughts, opinions, what do you guys think of this? Yeah,
Why?
why the fuck are you doing this? Like,
It's really stupid.
okay, I can't even imagine the premise. If your Wi-Fi goes out, that means you're holding a brick, right? The entire thing's fucking bricked and you can't play the game because Wi-Fi is more unstable than wire connections.
Don't forget, if you happen to have something that happens sometimes, blackouts. Your power goes out, a tree hits a power line and then blows a transformer. You're fucked.
Okay, well, to be fair, in that situation, I would imagine your entire power is gone in general, so you can't play the console itself.
Unless you're on mobile, though.
Well, yeah, you have kind of a point. But this is like step one in a horrible process of the Google Stadia. Like, I don't get why they would have this. It reminds me of shit things they used to do with controllers like 6-axis, where you have to tilt the controller sideways to make something turn, and Heavily Soar was crap because of it.
I never used that feature in games that used it. I just turned it off.
They started taking it out, like, I want to say in 2009. Stop using it like a lot in general.
Yeah, with the Wi-Fi only controller, it's completely stupid in my opinion. I mean, what if you're having issues with the Wi-Fi? Like, isn't it gonna like mess up the controller, like make it like a laggy piece of shit pretty much?
Of course. I mean, the only way they can remedy this is by removing it. I can't see any positive out of this. I'm sorry.
The way this looks, well, actually no, I'll get into that part later.
Actually, you know what?
I have another
guess...
thing to say about the controller. I don't know if it's in here. I don't think it's in the document, but that always on feature, that microphone that's built in, if you try to say some stuff that Google doesn't like, they will most likely ban your account because it came out there's going to be moderation for this.
So is that confirmed that the mic goes to some source and what you're saying will get your account terminated or some shit like that? I don't know the specifics of that. That's why I said, like, some stuff is not definitive, like the pricing and how this microphone feature works. But if they're really spying on you, that reminds me of the shit that Kinect tried to do. Remember, you couldn't turn it off and the camera was always on at one point?
Ugh.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was for the
it's
Xbox One, right?
It's a little bit
Yeah.
creepy because it's like Google's listening to me talk or something. It's just a little weird. Creeps me out a little bit.
I
I
kind of don't understand why they would choose Wi-Fi as being connectivity when Bluetooth has pretty much become the standard for most controllers nowadays, whether they be first-party or third-party controllers. I mean, even just having a wired option would be a nice benefit if they wanted to go with the Wi-Fi route.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a wired or Bluetooth connection because, I mean, that's what a lot of things are nowadays. Bluetooth mics even work a lot better because, I mean, that Wi-Fi goes down, you're fucked.
It is true that they do have Bluetooth for like PS4 controllers and shit, but the problem is like they don't have that wired connection. So if it does go out purely based on Wi-Fi alone, like how would you use the controller? It's just totally like one of those things that's like, yeah, I can kind of see the point, but at the same time, they should have had like a backup alternative for this shit.
Like, there's one thing in specific that I was thinking about this.
Mhm.
The entire because the system, or like the Stadia in general, it has to be connected to the internet all the time, and the controller has to be connected to Wi-Fi. Like, that's not a very good combination because you have two things connecting and running at the exact same time, which
yeah.
one will outdo the other.
So that means like bandwidth is being eaten up.
or interference could occur.
Basically, yeah.
All right, so I think we're gonna move on to question number 2. The Stadia will make promises of a streaming future reliant on 4K 60 FPS. This is all dependent on your internet connection, by the way. What do you guys think of that?
Impossible.
We're not
No.
Japan. We're not Europe. Get that shit out of my face until the U.S. gets better internet.
Because
I'm not in Silicon Valley. I'm support this.
Yeah, I mean, just for an example, it's like where I live, I currently have the best package I could possibly get with my internet provider, and we're in a neighborhood that doesn't have fiber yet, and it's kind of like this weird thing where like there has to be enough people like in the neighborhood that sign off on having fiber put in. So it's like there's neighborhoods in this town that have fiber, which probably fare better than what I get, but it's still like that's an issue that a lot of people are going to run into. I mean, what if you live like out in the middle of freaking nowhere, like in these rinky-dink towns, you know, that are like freaking 1,000 people at best? You know, you're not going to have this solid internet connection to be able to stream at 4K 100% of the time.
I mean, I can speak for that personally because I live in rural Pennsylvania and all we have is CenturyLink and this freaking bumfuck cable connection that doesn't give barely any speeds. Even at freaking higher prices, don't give any speeds, and we don't even have Comcast out here. So it's a problem.
Even current services like PlayStation Now, for instance, they struggle with 720p 30 FPS. So how the fuck would it do like 4K 60 if we have like a competitor that's doing equally worse?
Unless they have some kind of magic in the Google headquarters.
I doubt it, honestly. I think Google, they have the money, but they don't have the ambition to pull this off.
If I may interject with that one, you're speaking about Google and you know what they do. I actually saw an article in-house, and actually it was a video too, where somebody was trying to play Assassin's Creed, mind you, in Google offices in-house, and the latency issues still gave a problem. They hit right on the left joystick and it came like a second or two later, and then they tried to do it the other way and it still lagged. The latency was so bad. Even in Google's office, it was freaking bad.
Sasuke, you suck. you just answered like a question in the document, but I guess we could lead into that. So there was a latency test that they did.
Damn.
It's true, it is in there. So there is a latency test they did, and it revealed that the game could only function at 5 FPS, and it was like a 30 FPS Assassin's Creed demonstration, and the lag was like negative 166 ms. So that's pretty bad. Like half of the screen, the cursor just would not move. So if the lag is that bad at like 240p, for example, then how the fuck would they run 4K 60 FPS? It's just impossible. It feels like that on live service that they had where that shit just flopped.
You know, it's funny to think that, you know, we've come so far with technology as it stands, but like you look at stuff like the PlayStation 1, for example, that ran at 240p, and it's like I've never in my mind encountered an issue where like the latency is so bad to where a PS1 game is unplayable on the original hardware. You know, even running, you know, emulators, it's not even that bad. I've never had that. So it's really sad that like a modern piece of tech is having this much of an issue.
I have a side question. Like, do you guys think it would have been better if the Stadia was like a full-on hardware console?
I think it would have
It
a better
depends on if
shot.
the streaming was still there.
No, like not at all. No streaming, just like a full-on brand new console.
The problem is there's already too many people in the market, and Google just doesn't have enough brand recognition to actually go up against PS4 or Xbox.
It's true. Like, I still would say they have the money. Like, Microsoft is in like, well, Microsoft is kind of like out of the running considering they don't have the games, but that's like a different story. But they have money and they're still around, so I think they could pull off something like that. But the problem is, like Drill said, the brand recognition, and they would need some sort of game to entice me, or some sort of price range that makes me say, hey, okay, I can try this. Like ease of convenience.
I'd have to say what it has in store. I'd have to say what's the difference between this one than the others that I've seen in the world.
Some people are gonna ask what makes it better.
Yeah, that's what I look for, or what I
Yeah.
would look for, anyways.
Like asking why should I pick this up over a PS4 or Xbox or even Nintendo Switch?
Exactly.
I mean, it's not really viable going against consoles with this thing. I mean, they're trying to be the Netflix of gaming, and I don't think it's gonna happen.
Let me think. Like, okay, like hardware wise, if it was something equivalent to, hey, we're gonna do like 4K 60 FPS consoles, that buzzword alone, it might entice people hardware wise, because current consoles can't really do that. At the same time, you do need games. It's just like the modern trend. You need games to sell systems.
It kind of reminds me of now that you say that, with back in like the 16-bit eras, there was the 3DO, which promised like full motion video games and top end hardware. The problem is that the system was $700 and barely had any real third party support on it, so nobody bought it.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if you have top of the line hardware, there's no guarantee it'll be cheaper. Not to mention you're already going against Sony and the Microsoft and even Nintendo.
Well, maybe Nintendo Switch will mess up, fam. Who knows? Maybe that next Donkey Kong game won't be that great. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm just so burnt out on. I can't even focus. Shit.
Not to interrupt anybody, but I'm finally here in this fucking thing.
Oh, hey, what's up, Dan? How's it going, man?
Oh, hey.
Got back from driving, but I'm good now.
Yeah, we just started. I might as well ask you this question since we're on like question number 5, since Sasuke brought it up. But
Okay.
there was like a latency test with Assassin's Creed at the GDC conference, and apparently the lag on the Google Stadia was like a negative 166 ms.
Good God, what the fuck?
Yeah. So that's my reaction, especially.
What is Google specifically thinking that this is a good idea to have? Oh, let's build a game console and have it run like shit.
Well, apparently they do want like 4K 60. That's the target, and we all said American internet sucks.
They're not going to get 4K 60 with what they're promising with this piece of garbage.
It's trash.
It is trash.
You want to answer a question about the Wi-Fi controller as well?
Oh yeah,
God.
it's
Don't get me started on that shit. That shit is hilarious and stupid at the same time.
we did say, like, as a small counterpoint, that controllers do run on like Bluetooth now, but you can like connect them wire again. I do like how the PS4 controller does it, where you could just connect it right in, take it out if you want to play without the cord. So that's pretty cool. But Google isn't doing that apparently.
Yeah,
it's all
Google's
on
not doing
connection.
that. Google's going back like primitive time. Or not even primitive. It's just like they're trying to fuck up really hard.
So before we move on, any other questions on this or counterpoints, anything at all? No? Okay.
Is there any way they can make this better?
Yeah, seriously. Is there any way at all?
Allow wire controllers? It's the only way.
Even for like the 4K 60, what they're trying to go at?
Okay, for that, I think they should take down their quota and change it. Like, try 720p 30 and see what happens. Try to be better than at least PS Now, because I don't think what they're going for is going to happen.
Yeah, because like since they're going for 4K 60, not everyone can stream 4K 60.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense to just push it to its limit. Like, start slow. If everyone's down with it, just go, all right, we're going to give y'all the option. Y'all can go 4K 60 if you want. If it don't work, you can drop that sucker back down to 720. It's totally up to you, buddy.
Yeah, give them options.
Because 4K 60, that's the ceiling. That's where everyone's trying to go for. Streaming, nah, it ain't gonna work with streaming. I mean, hardware, we aren't even there yet. Not a lot of people have 4K TVs, I'd say. I mean, there's a little, some exceptions because when they go on sale, some people get enticed to buy one then. But
4K is getting up there. It's just not mainstream yet.
Yeah,
not,
I mean,
not even TV stream programs in 4K yet. We aren't that far yet.
Also, Daybreaker, you were saying?
I was just gonna say too. It's like even building a computer that has the 4K, 144 frame per second. Like getting a computer at that specs isn't a cheap endeavor. So to think that functionality is going to be bundled in a streaming only console is kind of just, it's like it's more or less a fantasy, if anything.
Let me see if I can find this quick video that I want to put in the podcast itself at this point, because there's a video that I made where I was playing Virtual Fighter, and Kaneki brought this up like yesterday, that they want to apparently make this a mainstay for fighting games. And I'm like, with the latency this bad, there's no fucking way. But here it is. It's a short, like 13-second video of me playing Virtual Fighter. Which one is this? 5. And I want you to see what happens at the end. You can see it in the thumbnail. Look at this.
Oh God.
I think this lag is accurate too. My leg. I can't do. Whoa! Holy! Okay.
What is that?
Look at this.
No.
What is it? What is Picasso art on the screen?
This was PS3, PS Now, and everything just went to shit. Like at the end, I'm like, what is this?
Was this on PlayStation 3 or PS4?
Oh my
PS3.
God.
Good lord.
That is fucking terrible.
What?
Well,
Some elementary school painting or some shit. This is literally what that is.
Is that supposed to be art?
yes.
Art.
Is this Picasso or
The heck?
something?
It looks like it's running on my internet.
Picasso? What is this?
looks like
this is-
lasagna that went bad in the oven.
Oh, that's worse. No fucking way. This lasagna looks multicolored.
Does it?
Well,
Yeah, if
maybe
your
a sausage
lasagna
cake.
came out multicolored, you fucking burn your goddamn house down.
All right, so we got to get to the dumb stuff now because people made some counter arguments on Twitter. So they said that if Netflix can work, then why can't the Stadia? How do you feel about this?
I saw that. I saw that stupid.
Now, the main question I must ask is, I'm pretty sure base Netflix does not run at like 4K 60.
Well,
No, it does not.
I think you have to pay for more to get 4K, but
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
that then.
even
Yeah,
No, Netflix is gonna start raising prices soon. I think they're like $12.99 if you want to
They-
keep using it. I think.
Kind of already did, I believe.
Oh, hi, Hulu.
Oh,
Mr.
hi, Hulu.
Lowering prices.
Roku.
Yeah, this argument doesn't make any sense at all. If Netflix can work, then why can't say that? Doesn't make any sense at all.
It really
Well,
doesn't. Because
yeah,
on one
especially-
end,
Because-
you got video streaming, and on the other end, you got a constant stream of gaming information that needs to be streamed.
And
Video's easier than games.
not only
sorry.
that, but Netflix has like endless deals, pretty much like pouring in from like different people and everything like that, adding more content on their platform. And
happens
to be honest, if developers are seeing all this bullshit happening with Stadia, you really think they're gonna put their game on their platform? I don't think so.
yeah, they got lucky with Doom Eternal, but I'm not sure about everybody else, to be honest.
I don't know.
Tekken 7 on Stadia. That's gonna
Saying
look
it,
bad.
Chief.
I want to say that the only reason they got Doom Eternal, I said this in the chat before we started. I feel like the only reason they got Doom Eternal was so that way the meme that Doom runs on anything could keep going. I feel like that's the only reason they got it.
I feel like the only reason why they added Doom Eternal was just to see, oh, we got this game. Now people are gonna be wanting to buy it. That's
It's
the
a-
only reason why I see it.
It's
In
like,
my
you know
opinion,
what?
think
I can get it
everything
on
is a cash
Steam.
grab.
I could get it on Steam and just pre-order the game from there, fam. It's like, I don't really like, for multiplayer specifically, unless you do something to make them vastly different, like new content or something like that, I probably will buy it on another platform of my choice.
I mean, I guess they want to make it the thing to entice it, like, oh, you can stream this on your iPad and just play it anywhere you want.
I mean, probably so, but if the game comes out like on Switch or something, and they did make like
It is
Doom
actually
game-
on Switch.
well, there you go. You could like play it handheld now.
There you go. You don't even
Yeah.
need Stadia.
Yeah, unless you happen to be next to like a Wi-Fi point.
Also, Daybreaker, you were saying something?
Sasuke pretty much said what I was gonna say in
I knew
regards to
this.
just just that
Can't believe-
Netflix is a yeah, no, can't believe you done. Just Netflix is streaming a video is a lot easier to do than streaming a video.
Even then, Netflix isn't perfect. Sometimes it has to buffer if you want
Oh,
higher
absolutely.
quality.
I had
And,
that
and
problem.
like then like you guys were mentioning, you have to pay a higher subscription fee to get access to higher quality content. I think like the standard subscription fee is only at 480p, and then like 720p and 1080p you have to pay additional for.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Yeah. I mean,
So imagine like paying 4K 60 for games to run at that level. That's gonna be an insane fucking price.
oh yeah. Also, are we gonna talk about like the requirements Google said about Stadia?
You can list them off because I don't have them in the document right now.
Google.
I
know
before
that.
get the,
I
that-
know you need. It varies. Like it depends on your internet. That's already like, well, if your internet's shit, you can't run this.
I think Sasuke put the links to those where I think they're in here somewhere.
Mm.
The info. Oh, there it is.
And they also said something else about your internet connection, but obviously, they showed like the people who have Stadia, and it's ironic that I think among the list was the United States, Europe, it was another country, but Japan doesn't have it, which is probably the country that has like very stable internet.
The greatest internet.
Yeah,
But
and they don't have it.
But yeah, apparently the minimum requirement for 4K 60 is 30 megabits a second.
Damn,
mean,
I don't even think I have that. Holy fuck, that's a lot.
And
Yeah,
that's
I don't think I even get
that's
that
the
consistently
minimum.
here.
I got a hypothetical. Imagine trying to stream a game like Grand Theft Auto 5 or Red Dead 2 on Stadia. Imagine how it would look.
I
Or
mean,
RE2 remake. RE2
All I
remake.
feel is pain.
All I
can imagine
feel
it
is sorrow.
also, not every.
Are we here?
Also, there are people who have data caps, so that's probably going to eat up all the internet.
Yep.
I think Comcast does that with certain people. So does
Cable One does as well.
yeah, anyone who has satellite internet, which is garbage. That's your data cap gone.
I do. All I feel is pain.
Yep.
Get out of
Every
this-
time you get a storm, it's like all I feel is sorrow.
Get out of the
At least
satellite.
I've got my video games.
Yes, you do.
That's good. That's good. So there's another counter argument. Apparently, I saw a tweet. I'm not gonna name names, but I saw a tweet from someone I know, and they said, "How do you feel about the counter argument that gamers won't accept the future of gaming with VR and streaming services?" I think it's not the problem that we won't accept it, but if we know it's not going to be good, then what is the point of getting excited for it?
Yeah. The problem is VR and streaming are just in their infancy right now, and it's just nowhere near as stable as it should be.
It's expensive to go for VR.
Yeah,
Like-
and also,
I posted like a video on my last video that I did. I think it was the Iron Man one.
I
To
saw
get
that
like a
one.
Vive, yeah, to get a Vive is like $1,300.
I mean, you could try to go to the cheapest route and get like a PSVR, but even then,
What
That's
about
like-
Oculus Rift? How much is that?
I don't even want to
All of
know.
the all of the
lot.
VRs are worth a pretty penny, so it's not even worth it.
there.
Let me see this.
Well, and I agree with a lot of people too. The argument about VR, you know, to me VR is more of a gimmick than anything. I don't really see it becoming the mainstay of gaming personally, just because it's like there are so many limitations on it right now. I mean, you have to have a wide enough space to even really enjoy VR to the fullest extent. You know, and we've seen gimmicks like this rise and fall before. I mean, the Wii stuck around for a really long time with this motion control, you know, and then Xbox and PlayStation, you know, tried to capitalize on that with Kinect and with PlayStation Move, you know. So it's just, I really feel VR is just a gimmick. Like and you know, it's great for what it is, and the few times I've got to mess around with it, it's a really fun experience. But it's not something for me personally where I'm like so invested to drop, you know, $500 whatever on a headset and all the games for it and everything. You know, it's not worth the investment to me.
Yeah,
If I
they,
get into that a little bit, it's just like
Mm.
VR is mostly just visual. It's not really for gaming.
it's for people who just want to get up, move around, do stuff. They might want to play with some anime hentai titties and VR, and that's it. But if you aren't that type of person, if you enjoy just playing on pad and stuff like that, if you enjoy I would say it's mobile, but if you enjoy like handheld gaming more, it probably won't appeal to you. And if you aren't like loaded a little bit because like the PC headsets for VR are ridiculous, then it's definitely not going to appeal to you in the slightest.
I just went to Oculus's website and it says that this item's currently unavailable in your country. Facebook,
That's-
what are you doing?
That's fucking ridiculous.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh
ridiculous.
man, oh
Yeah.
why Facebook? Why?
Oh shit, so I guess we can move on to the next one. Let me see what we got here. Oh, this is the last question. God damn. Well, what do you think? what do you think needs to be done to make a streaming future viable for gaming?
Fiber everywhere. Google, fam.
Unless
Find a cheaper way for fiber.
Unless-
And don't pull stuff like Louisville where you actually took fiber away from them. Like, what
Yeah.
was that about?
I think they said it was just an experiment and it didn't pound out the way they wanted.
Yeah, if you're going to do something like this, make Google Fiber more available, make it cheaper. I think it runs at like, I think like the base, you get like 500 gigs of internet. That's good. That's the only way I see something like this happening. But I know as a company, they're not going to compromise because they know they want that shit to be expensive as possible.
Yeah, and plus, with all the other internet providers in competition, that really doesn't help everybody.
Oh.
Also, yeah, with that whole 30 megabytes an hour thing, just imagining like a 10-hour game, you're already at like 300 megabits.
I'm still surprised they didn't talk about pricing yet, because it's like, how is this gonna work? I think that's gonna make or break it for some people.
I think it's scaring people off.
Well,
do not question it.
According to Variety, Google has said that they'll host at least 2 more Stadia events by this summer. So,
oh boy.
I wonder, will that mean that will they do their own conference or be at E3? I don't know. That might put more eyes on it if it was, but I guess we'll see.
Sony backed out because they were scared of the Stadia.
they shot all their payload on.
I mean,
last year too.
It would be funny if Stadia did have an E3 conference, though.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Well,
It would.
put it at the
shit
PC
show.
gaming show. There you go. we gotta get our YouTubes on board for this, fam. Stream that shit.
Is it bad that I could actually see that? I could see the Google Stadia at the PC gaming show, and they're like trying to flex nuts, and it just fails completely.
That shit is in, like, apparently that shit is in. That's one of the parameters, like, it's gonna have YouTube integration. I don't know what that means, but it's gonna have it.
Jeez, if it comes out on E3, I'll be like this. Is this an out of season April Fool's joke?
I knew that was coming.
I mean, the idea of having having the game shown to you when you're watching a video is interesting.
But I don't know. They got a lot to prove, and so far it's not looking good, Chief.
I don't want to say a derogatory
You ever went to the PC
term
gaming show
for
just
Joe
to...
and get banned.
Sorry.
Oh, what were you saying, BlackRock?
Oh, you ever go to the PC gaming show with your Google Stadia to flex on Steam?
That'd be fucking suicide. That's career suicide right there.
Yeah, a lot of people are worried though about the whole YouTube integration thing. The fact that people can actually like join the game, because a lot of people are saying, what if, trolls just show up and join the game and start spouting off offensive things, and then YouTube ends up stepping in and then pretty much deleting the video and giving the creator a strike.
That sounds very unsecure if that's true. Like, you
because-
should be able to close down your session or make it private at any opportunity. I hate join features. I didn't like it. Well, I think share play was cool, not gonna lie, but at the same time, that's another thing that was like super fucking laggy for me sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, I found this on I know this isn't like really, in my opinion, what's the word?
Important?
No, like unreliable. But I found this on The Verge, and they were saying that pretty much imagine a popular YouTube creator with a sizable audience, kind of like Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, etc., especially PewDiePie, and you have the option to join in the game that they're playing if you have it. Imagine just all of a sudden being overflowed with just trolls.
Well,
Just
that means
saying,
that
Hail, for example, like if someone would do that on PewDiePie's stream, because I know people will do that on PewDiePie's stream.
That means that everyone can yell dicks at the same time and get them flagged. I don't know.
That's what a lot of people are like worried about. And then the thing that I was talking to you about that's not completely recognized yet about the whole privacy thing. Where's this data going to? Is this going to Google? Is this going to someone else? Blah, blah, blah. But nothing is confirmed yet.
Yeah, I said that before. It's kind of like undefined. I will say the issues with Google and their servers, I didn't have much of a bad time like using their browsers or using YouTube. It seems pretty secure compared to something like, oh well, the end user, they want stability, they want security, right? So you had to pay for a privacy protection plan on the PS3 and it cost like about $50 freaking dollars, dude. Yeah, I did not like that at all.
Yeah, I think that's why people were talking about the whole privacy thing, because they know that Google has had a history with privacy and leaks before. So they're wondering, is this going to go to Google? Is this going to go to someone else? That's why a lot of people are pretty much concerned, because people want to know who their data is going to go to and if they can be trustworthy or not. And Google, in my opinion, really hasn't had a good track record when it comes to privacy.
Well, it can't be worse than anything going on iCloud and celebrities getting their fucking news leaked, and you get to see some bad house action going on.
I knew someone was going to mention that.
Yeah, I've seen things on the internet. But I guess we're gonna call it because we've reached our 35-minute mark. So I'm gonna do outros here for everyone. So Cryo, where can we find you, buddy?
You can find me on YouTube, Cryo Gaming, Instagram, Cryo Gaming, Twitch, Cryo Gaming, YT, and Twitter, Cryo Gaming.
Hamster, where can we find you?
Hamster.
Black Rock Shadow on both Twitter and YouTube. I'm mostly, if you follow my Twitter though, be prepared. It's pretty much just a bunch of complaining and nothing else.
Sasuke.
Did he die? I think he died.
Man, get your head out of the gutter. What's wrong with you?
Sasuke, you there, bud?
You good?
Alright, I think he's suffering from eating burritos all the time and he's exploding on the toilet, so...
He's looking at Momocon lewds right now, just let
Oh,
me...
Fuck.
No. Well, we'll leave him to his jelly donut devices, drill bit. How about you?
You can just find me on Twitter at drillbit777. Also, same name on YouTube, though I don't really use it that much.
Dan, where can we find you, buddy?
Mostly on Twitter, but it's at Dan_the_gamer64.
Daybreaker.
You guys can find me at YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, all under Daybreaker Rank.
Alright, and since Sasuke just left, you can find him on Twitter. He went to Fab to Momoko. You can find him on Twitter at RifleSlayer007. I see that in chat. Just F. And you can
F to pay your respects, boy.
Pay your respects, boys. And you can find me on Twitter at RentOperative_, YouTube Renegade Operative, Twitch Renegade_Operative. You know the drill.
Also the same username on Pornhub.
Fuck no. We're gonna get out of here. We had fun today. Hopefully we have another discussion if something else crops up. E3 is coming pretty soon, so we're gonna be reacting to that. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. There you are, Sasuke. Where'd you go, man?
He is, the man of the hour.
Right after we already paid respect.
Oh.
Yeah, we kind of roasted you, buddy. I'm sorry about that. Do your outro.
Replace your brain
Yeah,
with
you can
F.
find me on Twitter at Rifle Kick, Rifle Slayer 007, and sometimes on YouTube. But anyways, fuck you, Stadia. Google, do better. We need better internet. Yeah, fuck you.
All right, we have the rose. So we will talk to you guys later. This is the IAS signing off, and hopefully you have a good day. Peace.
Later, everybody.
Later.
Later.